Sneak down from the tower. Use the invisibility cloak to avoid Filch and Mrs. Norris. Find 18 beans, 2 safe game books, 1 secret wizard card, 1 secret area, and this time you'll have to avoid 3 enemies. Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Zoguys115 speaking, and let me welcome you to follow-up episode when we're now sneaking down the tower. I really like the fact that they dedicated some of the 2 largest levels of the game to something that's not in the movies and briefly mentioned in the book.
Mrs. Norris, I could have sworn I heard footsteps in here, but... yeah, bleh. Let's check the library, my sweet.
Aww, Mrs. Norris is such a cute kitty cat. And in the movies she was adorable as well, although she had red eyes, which I found incredibly cool. Just the cutest thing. Okay, so the purpose this cutscene served was pretty much to show us that we not only have Filch to worry about, but Mrs. Norris. And 4 times by my count. That is, if we count this beginning introduction. By the way, if you rush along the bridge and bump into him, he's still gonna catch you. You need to give him time to actually leave this room, which I do not understand why he and Mrs. Norris decided to check the library, but maybe they just like it. Meaning we are free to indulge in our vandalistic fantasies, which is simply amazing. I just had to break those vases. Now, over there, that's kind of where we came from, but you can see in the dark tunnel looked great. It doesn't actually lead to the previous parts of the level. This is a new map, just made to look the same, the beginning, that is. So let's Alohomora our way through. Oh, let's try and catch up with Filch. Quickly. Ah! Nah, you know it's not gonna work, just like Hermione looking doors behind us. Oh, they're fast.
Aha! I've heard you for sure this time. Quick, Mrs. Norris. You keep watch from above.
Okay. Someone thought...
You'll not get past me now, you rotten little gutter snipes.
Someone thought it's a good idea to have Mrs. Norris jump up to the bookshelves. I don't know, just to see the jump animation, it's the most precious thing. I mean, look at her. Oh man, this is just great stuff. You cannot make this up. Okay, so flippendo in another bookcase, getting a bean and being on the watch out from the cat. Oh my god, you're... Oh, whoa. That was actually scary. Nothing on the ledge over there. You don't have to worry or bother to get there. So the important thing is simply to not be where Mrs. Norris is. And plus she has a tendency to fall down, which is what I think happened in this case. See, there she is. You can absolutely, as she's trying to jump on top of this bookcase, flipendo it in just the right time, meaning she'll fall down, which is absolutely hilarious, but very difficult to pull off. And time perfectly. Okay, so again, we are both behind Filch and Mrs. Norris. It's only a matter of time before they'll realize, oh, look at this beautiful wooden owl. Oh, it's carved into stone? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's one of its kind and used nowhere else in the game. But let's not make any unnecessary noise behind Filch. Let's continue to the next library section.
Intruder!
All these secret shortcuts. I'm in love with Hogwarts. Okay, so again, only 1 secret in this level, and it's gonna be rather underwhelming and obvious. You don't have to worry about any paintings whatsoever.
What's going on? Who was that?
Yeah.
Someone's got past me.
We want to go to the right, not to the left, because that is a dead end until we reach the higher levels. So, now that Filch is out of the way, let's absolutely go here. And we're gonna have an encounter with a friend of ours. Okay, now we can absolutely flipendo the bookcase over there, but by jumping on this desk, you can climb on top of this bookcase.
Hello again, Harry. How's the bean collecting? Friend George are up to their usual tricks, I presume? I heard about your Quidditch victory. Yes, well done, Harry. On to the cuppy, what?
Oh, absolutely. So this is essentially what I meant about us having a guiding light later on in the game, and also meeting Nearly Headless Nick for the third time. By the way, not a secret, but you get to collect 3 beans if you explore this nook, and also there'll be one other pile of 3 hidden beans like that later in here. But yeah, this is essentially what Nick has said and foreshadowed here about Harry trying to aim for the Quidditch Cup, is the reason why the following episode is not gonna be the Friends breach into the final corridor, but a little lovely bonus I decided to add into this playthrough, and that's all I'm gonna say for now. But Nearly Headless Nick being over there is essentially the reason why Patronus is today's Christmas decoration, and yeah, it was honestly the closest thing. Our guiding light, shadowing us from, or shielding us from the darkness.
Intruder!
Or in other, less poetic words, Nick is just he's a great bro, and he takes care of us. That's all I'm gonna say to that. Okay, now this is tricky, unless Mrs. Norris will get stuck.
And when I do, you'll regret it.
Mrs. Norris, are you gonna do... Oh, there's the jumping cat act. Just look at her. Oh, this is too good. So 3 beans over here, but if you're too scared of Mrs. Norris, I can't blame you. You can absolutely ignore them. And Nick just patiently waits there. What a predicament we find ourselves in. Now, Filch probably knows all the ghosts, but does he know Nick is helping us? Probably he'd be as angry as he is at Peeves if he knew. Okay, Mrs. Norris is gonna jump back, which means we can jump like this and not have to bother about the railing. Okay, she made a noise. I think she smelled us.
What's going on? Who was that? Someone's got past me.
Okay, but honestly, the worst is behind us. We can get onto this way as well, but there's no point, really. Let's fall. Oh, and by the way, we'll be able to Alohomora this bookshelves a bit later on, but first, we need Filch to prime it. Hello there. Would it be funny if he could see Harry through the iron bars? Okay, and let's Alohomora our way into the room which will show all our heart's deepest desires. There it is.
Wow.
This is so incredibly cool, and you know what? I'm gonna do that a bit later on.
Reflected in the mirror of Erised were Harry's parents, James and Lily Potter. Harry stared hungrily back as though hoping to fall right through the glass and reach them. He was startled when a voice sounded behind him. Harry turned slowly about. So you, like hundreds before you, have discovered the delights of the mirror of Erised, said Professor Dumbledore. He went on to explain that the mirror showed nothing more or nothing less than the deepest, most desperate desire of our hearts, but that it would give neither knowledge nor truth. The mirror of Erised will be moved to a new home shortly, Dumbledore went on, adding ominously that if Harry ever came across it again, he would be prepared. But prepared for what? Thought Harry.
Filthy whelps gave us the slip, Mrs. Norris. I've locked the only door out of here for the sake of me nerves. Stay here and watch the library for a bit, my dear.
The Mirror of Erised, or Desire, spelled backwards. We're gonna encounter it soon enough, but not just now. Dumbledore really wasn't subtle with his foreshadowing. I always find the scene where Harry sees his parents just incredibly heartbreaking. Now, what's really neat, and I'm gonna go back to LEGO references, is that there was a, I think, 2018 Great Hall set released, and essentially there are different panels revealing what 4 different characters see in the Mirror of Erised, which I just find incredibly cool. You can see Ron having his Quidditch cap, looking older, being the Quidditch team captain, Harry seeing his parents, Professor Quirrell seeing the Philosopher's Stone, ooh, foreshadowing, and you can also see Dumbledore having a pair of warm socks, which is a nice Easter egg. It's what he joked about seeing there, and not what he actually saw in there was Grindelwald. But yeah, so unfortunately, Dumbledore did not somehow take us to safety. He just appeared, gave us a nugget of wisdom, and then disappeared just as well, leaving us alone to fend for Filch, which is, I think, ridiculous. Anywho, we can Alohomora this, so let's Alohomora it. And now I'm gonna turn backward and show you something really cool. Look at this mechanism. I don't know why, I just find this fascinating. Just the path completely camouflaging itself with the painting, even though it is the creepiest painting in the game. Ugh. And the music playing. Ugh. And that thing watching our back. Oof. Anyway, first and only secret of this level. A chest with, well, underwhelming number of beans. That's it. Yep. I mean, it's standard. But this late in the game, I don't know, I guess I'd expect more. Okay, and here we go, on to the final sneaking encounter with both Filch and Mrs. Norris. We just need to Alohomora one more door and collect the final bean of the game.
Only way out of this room is past that gate. It makes an awful racket. You take that side of the room, and I'll take this one. We'll catch you, Mrs. Norris. Intruder!
I love the fact he reacts whenever a door closes behind us.
Come out wherever you are.
Well, I'm on the balcony, you know that. You're just too lazy to come up here. But I love how Filch has no idea who this is, so he just assumes it's a couple of people, apparently. Anywho, there it is, my friends. This has been a long but enjoyable journey. And at the very end of this walkway is the final Bertie Bott's every flavor bean of the game. You know, I never understood why is it worth to go through the effort to get that bean. It was always a mystery to me. Until I started taking notes and I realized this is actually the final bean of the entire game. And that's why it's so dramatic, and that's why we have to get it. So, be ready to jump. Now you can also fall down on these bookshelves, which... Okay, that was not intentional. But as you can see, it's gonna make the traversal somewhat easier. But this jump, we cannot mess up. There we go, and the final one, I'm gonna try and not mess up. There we go. Awesome, so we have 596 beans. However, we have one more trait to do with Fred and George, so we're not gonna finish the game quite with that number. But this is the highest number of beans you can get, unfortunately not 600. Oh, I was wrong. These are the final Wingardium Leviosa plates in the game. Okay. How come I always keep forgetting about this?
I'll catch you, and when I do, you'll regret it.
Now, I tested this thoroughly. If you were to start casting as he's looking, and you'd be standing here, he wouldn't see you. But from over here, he would absolutely see you and catch you. He doesn't even have to do a run-up towards Harry. You will just immediately enter a dialogue, and you will be caught. And the game would be over, right? And would reload. Okay, and we just have to repeat this process twice. But now Mrs. Norris is... Ooh, okay. I think she has exactly the same detection range as Filch. She's just sneakier and harder to detect because she doesn't keep taunting you all the time. She just meows sometimes. But by then you're already too close, usually. So they crisscross the room like this. No, they don't seem to react to these vases at all. Well, not yet anyway. Okay, so let's use this opportunity. And let's ensure we keep one of those vases, okay? Because then we'd have a problem. By the way, this is the game's one of the game's lead designers. Just a funny Easter egg. Some of those devs put themselves on the paintings. Okay. And I think there is a wizard card of Bridget Wenlock, she's called, in the Chamber of Secrets game. And she is that designer's wife, if I'm not mistaken. Just cute Easter eggs like that. Yeah. See, if you were to start casting in front of him, it'd be game over. So I wanted to do it just after he turns, because, I don't know, I guess I like playing with fire. Okay, and one more. We'll open the door. The fact that it makes a huge racket, as he says, does not help them at all.
I'll catch you. regret it.
You know, I have to give it to them. By standing in front of the door, that's really the only place where they can catch me. Unfortunately for them, they get easily sidetracked.
You'll be banished.
Ah, Peeves, I love you so much. Well, no, you're absolutely terrifying, but in this particular case, you helped us out a lot. Not that you know about it. When I was a first year in my elementary school, we used to have a carnival where we put all sorts of costumes. My buddy was, of course, the Harry Potter, because that was the coolest thing ever. But I was Peeves the Poltergeist. And of course, no one but him played this PC game, so no one had any idea what is it I am. So I decided to put a sign on my back saying I'm Peeves the Poltergeist, in Slovak translation, which makes absolutely no sense. As you can imagine, it was not a popular costume at all. Okay, Mrs. Norris, we still have one vase left, so let's break it. This way she will run over here. We can use the other side to make it across the door and into safety. No more sneaking around. Harry, you can take off your cloak now. Oh, what's this then? Well, that looks like an invitation. Oh, let's not miss our chance. I love that theme that just played so much. It also plays when we're throwing wizard crackers around at each other with Malfoy, which is kind of how friendships begin, to be honest. It's a great piece of music for kind of inappropriate situations, like these situations when that music plays from Jeremy Soule. It's like the situations don't deserve it, you know what I mean? Anyway, Fred and George are completely cool with us being here. They don't mind at all.
Hey, Harry. Do you have 25 beans for us?
Oh, I have more than that. You can pick a color.
That's it! That's all the beans we need! Thanks, Harry. We couldn't have done it without you. Here's a wizard card for you. You've earned it. Thanks, Harry. We really needed these.
You look like you do.
Remember, you don't know anything about us collecting beans. It'll be our secret, right?
Okay, guys.
Come on, George. We've got work to do.
Can you tell me what is this about? I mean, this pile of beans. I assume these are not just the beans that we gave them, because other students mentioned that Fred and George are collecting them. So, I guess there are more people involved in whatever the hell this is. This is honestly this video game's biggest mystery. Not He Who Must Not Be Named, not the Philosopher's Stone, not what Snape is after. It's what the hell are Fred and George up to, and it's the greatest mystery, and it's actually gonna be solved at the very end, after the main plot is resolved. Because the developers knew what is it that really interests the players, and it is this. What are you guys trying to pull off? Now, unfortunately, there is an invisible barrier, so we cannot bump into them and talk to them, and they probably have their hands full trying to keep gnomes and other pests away. Anywho, the card we picked up is, in fact, Rowena Ravenclaw. So let's get to the final pitch. See, we are missing only one more card.
Rowena Ravenclaw. Medieval. Dates unknown. Co-founder of Hogwarts. Gave her name to one of the 4 Hogwarts houses.
That's it. Helga's here. Slytherin, 2 pages back. Gryffindor, 3 pages back. Yeah. So they're spread around like that. So, one more card that will be in this slot. And if we have that, and 250 Bertie Bott's beans, and we beat the final boss, then we get 25th card. So 571 beans is consistently the highest number of beans I have ever been able to find in this game. Guys, if you know of potentially something I missed, anything, a secret, a bean, a pickup, a chocolate frog, please let me know. But I do believe we have covered everything there is in this game. Except for the grand finale. Okay, so up the elevator we go. And yeah, the moment we cross this room and enter the round staircase, we will essentially enter the end game. So guys, this was sneaking down from the tower. We have again 571 beans, 23 out of 25 cards. Again, 347 house points. We have found this level's one and only secret. However, we're not quite gonna do the end game tomorrow. Instead, tomorrow you're gonna see a very special episode, and you know, Nearly Headless Nick already gave you a hint on what that might be. Thank you so much for being with me. I hope you're having a lovely December, and I'll see you again tomorrow.